Yo, yo, what the fuck is going on here, man? I'm gonna put the the live one.
50 Cent is laughing again, but this time the internet is split because some people think he is trolling like he always does, and other people think this might be one of the few times where the joke is hiding real pain, because this was not just another Diddy headline. This was not just another court update. This was not just another viral rumor about the Diddy case. This time, the name being dragged into the mess was Daphne Joy, the mother of 50 Cent's son, Sire. And once that alleged footage started spreading online, 50 did what 50 always does. He went straight to Instagram and turned the whole situation into a public roast. But then he said one thing that made the jokes feel different. He brought up his son. He basically said Daphne is not the victim. Sire is the victim. Imagine being in 8th grade and finding out the internet is talking about your mom like this. That one line changed the whole mood. Because before that, fans were laughing at 50's jokes. They were reposting the memes, clowning Diddy, clowning Daphne, and acting like this was just another messy celebrity scandal. But when 50 mentioned his child, suddenly people started realizing this story is way uglier than a viral joke. Because behind all the memes, behind all the Diddy jokes, behind all the 50 never misses comments, there is a kid who did not ask for any of this. And that is why this situation exploded. Not because 50 Cent roasted Diddy. He has been doing that for years. It exploded because people could hear two things at the same time. The comedian and the father.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you a heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know, you think you silent treating me.
The story started moving fast over the weekend when entertainment blogs and social media pages began reporting that alleged footage involving Diddy and Daphne Joy had surfaced online. Now, let's be clear right here. The authenticity of that footage has not been independently verified. Diddy has not publicly confirmed it. Daphne Joy has not publicly confirmed it. And nobody credible has proven where the footage came from. But in today's internet, sometimes a clip does not even have to be fully verified before the damage starts. All it takes is a headline. All it takes is one screen recording. All it takes is one blog page saying, "Alleged footage leaked." And the whole internet starts acting like the trial already happened in the comment section. And because this involved Diddy, people were already locked in. Diddy's name has been tied to lawsuits, testimony, documentaries, federal charges, and non-stop online debate for almost 2 years. So when people saw Daphne Joy's name connected to the latest alleged leak, the internet did not treat it like a random rumor. They treated it like another chapter in the Diddy files. And that is where 50 Cent entered the room. Because if there is one person who has never missed a chance to clown Diddy, it is 50. But this time was different, because he was not roasting from the outside. The situation touched his own family.
When I go running, see, I can see me, I'll be running outside. The crusade, so y'all gonna have to keep up with me. I'm gonna have to show you out the car so you see me putting the work in. Yeah.
50's first shot was not really about Diddy. It was about Sire. He wrote that Daphne was not the victim. Sire was. And that one post hit harder than all the jokes. Because now the situation had a family angle. Think about how wild that is. For years, 50 Cent and Diddy's beef looked like entertainment. 50 would troll him. Diddy would ignore him. Fans would laugh. Blogs would repost. And everybody moved on to the next joke. But now the joke had a child sitting in the middle of it. A child who has to go to school. A child who has friends. A child who has classmates with phones. A child who is old enough to understand when his family name is trending for all the wrong reasons. That is why people started saying 50 was not just joking. He was embarrassed. He was angry. He was doing what he always does, turning pain into comedy before anybody could use it against him. That is the part people miss about 50 Cent. This man has built a whole career off never letting the world see him lose. If something embarrassing happens, he laughs first. If somebody attacks him, he attacks harder. If the internet is about to clown him, he jumps in and becomes the loudest clown in the room so nobody can say they got to him first. And that is exactly what happened here. The internet was already making jokes about Daphne Joy and Diddy. So 50 stepped in and said, "All right, if y'all are gonna talk about it, I'm gonna control the punchline."
And you think I'm gonna be, nah. You'll have a rude awakening. You'll just have silence. And ain't nobody threatening you, and I ain't trying to go back and forth with no woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I ain't got no time for no motherfucking games. Where my life is at right now, I don't have no time for no games, baby girl. Me and you can be mad, I can have a spat, we can have whatever.
Then 50 turned his aim directly at Diddy. And this is where the internet lost it. Because instead of giving some serious statement, instead of saying he was disturbed or disappointed, 50 went straight into roast mode. He joked about Diddy in the most disrespectful way possible. And fans started saying the same thing they always say when 50 jumps online. This man does not miss, but this one was darker, because Diddy is not just another celebrity getting roasted. He is currently one of the most controversial figures in hip-hop. He has been convicted on prostitution-related charges, sentenced to more than 4 years in prison, and still has multiple allegations and lawsuits surrounding his name. So when 50 says something about Diddy, it does not land like regular gossip anymore. It lands like a man dancing on the ruins of his enemy's empire. Because 50 has been warning people about Diddy for years. When the industry was still quiet, 50 was posting. When other rappers were saying nothing, 50 was joking. When documentaries started coming, 50 put his name behind one. And now, with this alleged footage controversy dragging Daphne Joy into the conversation again, fans are saying 50 is watching the whole Diddy story collapse exactly the way he predicted. But there is another side. Some people said 50 looked hurt. They said the jokes were too loud. They said he was laughing too hard. And when a man laughs that hard at something involving the mother of his child, maybe the laugh is not just comedy. Maybe it is damage control?
And happy with his friends, going crazy, screaming, having a good old time. And the adults are having a great time, eating good food, the drinks are flowing, the music's right, and everyone's having a great time. I feel like mission accomplished. I love to share his birthdays on social media because it just makes me so happy that I get to be creative with my...
But to understand why this exploded so fast, you have to go back to 2024. That was when Daphne Joy's name got pulled into Rodney Lil Rod Jones' lawsuit against Diddy. In that lawsuit, Jones alleged that Diddy had women on a monthly stipend. Daphne Joy was named in those claims. Daphne denied it strongly. She said the claim that she was a sex worker was 100% false and called it character assassination. She also called out 50 Cent for making jokes while her safety and her life were being affected by the allegations. That part matters, because this is not the first time Daphne Joy and 50 Cent have gone public over Diddy-related drama. This has been building. First, it was the lawsuit. Then, it was 50 trolling. Then Daphne fired back. Then 50 moved toward legal action and custody issues. Then later, the defamation lawsuit got dropped. And now, with alleged footage circulating again, the entire situation got dragged back into the spotlight, like it never left. That is why fans did not see this as one isolated scandal. They saw it as part 2, or maybe part 3. Because every few months, Diddy's legal fallout finds a new way to pull old names back into the fire.
But then after that, you better get on your job. That's really, that's all it is. Cause you got me on my job. Nah, it ain't never gonna work like that over here. You know what I'm saying? I was trying not to lead this.
This is where the story stops being funny. Because when Sire's name comes up, 50's tone changes. Even if he is still joking, the subject changes. He is no longer just talking like a rapper. He is talking like a father who believes the internet is about to make his son pay for adult decisions. And that is exactly why fans were divided. One side said 50 was right. They said his son is the real victim because kids are cruel, the internet is cruel, and once something like this becomes a meme, it never really disappears. Another side said 50 was making it worse. They said if he really cared about protecting Sire, he would stop posting about it and stop turning the situation into a bigger circus. That debate is what made the comment section crazy, because everybody knew 50 had a point, but everybody also knew 50 was adding gasoline. And that is the complicated thing about 50 Cent. He can be right and messy at the same time. He can expose something and still make it uglier. He can defend his son and still turn the moment into a viral roast. That is why people could not stop watching. Nobody knew if they were watching a father protect his child or a troll using pain as content. Maybe it was both. The comments were brutal. Some people were laughing like this was the funniest thing 50 ever posted. One fan said 50 really turned his loss into stand-up comedy. Another said 50 never misses with the jokes. But then, other comments got darker. Some people said he sounded hurt. Some said he was hiding pain behind trolling. Some said the real victim was Sire, not 50, not Daphne, not Diddy. And one comment summed up the whole internet perfectly. People do not even watch the content anymore. They just react. That is the real problem with this story. A lot of people did not know if the clip was real. They did not know where it came from. They did not know if the Daphne quote, "going around," was verified. They did not know what came from court records and what came from gossip pages. But they still picked a side. That is how modern hip-hop drama works now. The headline comes first. The truth comes later. And sometimes by the time the truth arrives, nobody cares anymore because the meme already won.
Many of my clients were very concerned that he might walk free by the end of this year. Time served and then a couple more months. And they were very much afraid that he would retaliate against them. And so I think that they will be happy.
And all of this is happening while Diddy's name is already damaged beyond anything we have seen in hip-hop. In 2025, Diddy was convicted on 2 prostitution-related federal counts. He was acquitted of the more serious sex trafficking and racketeering charges, but the trial still exposed the public to testimony, allegations, and details that changed the way people looked at him forever. Then, in October 2025, he was sentenced to 50 months in prison. That means every new rumor around Diddy does not land on a clean reputation. It lands on top of court testimony. It lands on top of documentaries. It lands on top of the Cassie video. It lands on top of lawsuits. It lands on top of years of people asking what was really going on behind those mansion doors. So, when this alleged Daphne Joy footage started circulating, people did not treat it like a random celebrity leak. They treated it like another piece of the Diddy puzzle. And that is dangerous. Because when the public already believes someone is guilty of every rumor, even unverified claims start moving like confirmed evidence. That is why this story needs to be handled carefully. The fact is, alleged footage circulated. The fact is, 50 Cent reacted. The fact is, Daphne Joy has denied earlier allegations from the 2024 lawsuit. The fact is, Diddy has a real conviction, but he was also acquitted of some of the biggest charges. Everything else has to be separated from the noise. And this is where 50 Cent's role gets even more interesting. Because 50 is not just a random rapper trolling from his couch anymore. He executive produced Sean Combs' The Reckoning, the Netflix docuseries about Diddy's rise, fall, legal problems, and the allegations surrounding him. Diddy's side called it a hit piece. Netflix denied wrongdoing. 50 said the point was bigger than personal beef. He said if nobody in hip-hop says anything, it starts looking like the culture is okay with the behavior. Now, think about the timing. 50 already helped put Diddy's story on Netflix. Diddy is already in prison. The documentary already made noise. And now, another alleged clip involving the mother of 50's child pulls 50 back into the exact same storm he helped document. That is why this moment feels almost scripted. The man who spent years clowning Diddy is now watching his own family name get pulled into the Diddy conversation. And the internet is asking one question. Did 50 finally get hit by the same chaos he kept exposing? To understand why people are so locked in, you have to understand 50 and Diddy's history. This is not new. 50 has been throwing shots at Diddy for years. Sometimes it was music business jokes. Sometimes it was personal. Sometimes it was rumors. Sometimes it was straight disrespect. But 50 always seemed to enjoy one thing more than anything: watching Diddy lose control of the image he spent decades building. Diddy was not just a rapper. He was the shiny suit era. He was Bad Boy. He was Ciroc. He was parties, money, power, private jets, awards, executives, and the whole take that empire. And 50 has always been the opposite energy. Street, direct, disrespectful, strategic, and impossible to embarrass. So when Diddy's legal world started falling apart, 50 became the loudest person in the room. But this Daphne Joy situation made things personal in a way the old jokes never did. Because now, 50 cannot just point at Diddy and laugh from a distance. Now people are pointing back at 50 and saying, "Your son is attached to this too." That is what made him crash out online. Not just Diddy, not just Daphne. The idea that his child might have to carry the embarrassment of a story he did not create. Daphne Joy has not had the same platform as 50. That is important. 50 can post one joke and control the whole conversation. Diddy can have legal teams, PR teams, documentaries, and headlines. But Daphne is stuck in the middle of two powerful men, both with huge public images, both with their own narratives, both connected to one of the messiest celebrity scandals in years. When she denied the 2024 allegations, she sounded hurt. She said the claim was false. She called it character assassination. She said people were treating serious accusations like entertainment. And now here we are again. Her name is trending. 50 is joking. Diddy is being dragged. Fans are turning it into memes. And somewhere in the middle is a family situation nobody online actually has to live with. That is why this story feels nasty, because the internet gets to laugh and move on. Sire does not. Daphne does not. 50 does not. Even if 50 makes it look like he is laughing, he still has to deal with the real-life fallout. And that is why the internet split into two camps. Camp 1 says 50 is doing what 50 does. They say he is using humor to survive humiliation. They say he is defending his son. They say Diddy deserves every joke because Diddy's own choices put him here. Camp 2 says 50 needs to stop. They say bringing more attention to the alleged footage only makes things harder for Sire. They say calling out Daphne publicly does not protect the child. It makes the child's name trend even more. And honestly, both sides have a point. Because 50 is right that Sire is the one who has to deal with the social fallout. But the internet is also right that 50's posts made the story bigger. That is the contradiction. 50 wants to protect his son from embarrassment, but his weapon of choice is public embarrassment. That is why fans cannot look away, because they are watching a man fight a fire with gasoline and somehow still make everybody laugh while doing it. There is another reason Daphne Joy's name keeps getting pulled back into this. During Diddy's trial, an anonymous witness known as Jane testified about her relationship with Diddy and the alleged hotel night encounters. Online, fans speculated about Jane's identity. Some tried to connect her to Daphne Joy, but her identity was not publicly confirmed, so it is not responsible to say it was Daphne. That is how fake stories are born. One account guesses, another account repeats it, a third account turns it into a headline. Then by the end of the day, people are arguing about something nobody proved. So in this story, we have to separate facts from internet smoke. Fact: Daphne Joy was named in the 2024 Rodney Jones lawsuit, and she denied those claims. Fact: 50 Cent reacted to recent alleged footage involving Diddy and Daphne Joy. Fact: Diddy's trial featured testimony from an anonymous woman known as Jane. Not fact. Jane was Daphne. Not fact. Daphne confirmed the leaked footage. Not fact. The viral payment quotes being passed around are verified. That difference matters, because if you build a script on fake claims, the audience might click once, but they will not trust you again. The strongest part of this whole story is not the alleged footage. It is not the jokes. It is not even Diddy. It is Sire, because the internet is treating this like another episode. But for a child, this is family. That is the angle 50 understands better than anyone. He knows how cruel the internet is. He knows how fast kids can turn a headline into a nickname. He knows once your parents' drama becomes public, you cannot just delete it from school hallways. And maybe that is why he snapped. Maybe that is why he joked so hard. Maybe that is why he put Sire's name right in the middle of the post. Because he wanted people to understand that the real damage is not happening to celebrities with millions of followers. It is happening to the kid who has to walk into school while everybody else has already seen the headline. That is the part that makes the jokes feel uncomfortable. Because once a child is involved, the story stops being gossip and starts becoming a warning about how messy adult fame can get. So where does this leave everything? Diddy is still dealing with the fallout of his conviction, his sentence, and the endless public collapse of his image. Daphne Joy is once again being dragged into a story she has not publicly confirmed, while old allegations she denied are being recycled by the internet. 50 Cent is doing what 50 Cent does best: laughing, roasting, controlling the narrative before it controls him. But this time, the laughter feels different. Because 50 can clown Diddy all day. He can make the whole internet laugh. He can turn every headline into a punchline. But he cannot joke his son out of the story. And that is why this one hit harder. This is not just Diddy getting roasted. This is not just Daphne Joy trending. This is not just leaked footage rumors moving through social media. Oh, through line. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do y'all think 50 was protecting Sire? Or did he make the whole situation even bigger by crashing out online?